Now for polycythemia, we have two types. Polycythemia vera is a type of blood cancer. It causes the bone marrow to make too many red blood cells, those RBCs, which causes sort of a major traffic jam within the blood vessels, making the blood very thick and slowing blood flow, resulting in blood clots all over the body. So please write this down. We see an increase in RBCs. We also see low erythropoietin levels. It's basically that hormone from the kidneys that tells the bone marrow to produce RBCs. Now the cause is very distinct. We have cancer here, also called a neoplasm and a neoplastic disorder, meaning overgrowth of cells, and in this case, overproduction of RBCs. Now the second polycythemia is secondary polycythemia. We see the same increase in RBCs, but this one is very different in that it's caused by hypoxemia, that low oxygen in the blood. Now it's very different here, so let's break down the patho. With low oxygen in the blood, that hypoxia, the body says, oh snap, I better make more oxygen carriers. So loads of RBCs are made to compensate for this low oxygen. But instead of perfusing the body, the extra RBCs cause a traffic jam within the blood vessels. This thick, viscous blood can easily clog tiny little blood vessels and form deadly blood clots, specifically the tiny blood vessels inside the brain, causing a deadly stroke, a CVA, a cerebral vascular accident. So this is why we must report any extreme high hemoglobin or hematocrit level. So for diagnostics, increased RBCs, those red blood cells, but really the big one here is increased H&H. We must report this to the HCP, the healthcare provider. So an increase in hemoglobin and hematocrit. We're talking an extreme increase here, like 3 times the level. We also see hypercellular bone marrow from the bones producing too many RBCs, and also hyperuricemia, basically excess uric acid inside the blood due to a high turnover of RBCs, those red blood cells, which results in a higher than normal uric acid production. Now, in terms of manifestations, always think about the patho first. Think of the traffic jam of RBCs clogging up all the blood vessels all over the body. Naturally, this will cause a backup of blood flow, right? Leading to increased blood pressure. Also hepatomegaly, that big mega liver, from the backup of all these RBCs. We also see a big mega spleen called splenomegaly, a big spleen, as well as sluggish blood flow and even cardiac hypertrophy, a big heart with really thick, overinflated heart muscles. Now, this is from the heart trying its hardest to pump against that thick, viscous blood, as well as headaches and visual problems from that slow blood flow to the brain and eyes. And it could even indicate a thrombosis, or basically a clot, which leads to organ infarctions. So a CVA is that clot in the brain, a cerebral vascular accident. An MI is a myocardial infarction, a clot in the heart. A PE is a pulmonary emboli, a clot in the lungs. And a DVT is a deep vein thrombosis, a clot in the deep veins. Basically, clots everywhere. All right, that wraps it up. Thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to take your quiz and download the study guides. And also feel free